Acceptance from others is not going to make you feel any better about your hair. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna be doing another blab and beat. My hair is gonna bother me, I can tell. I got a silk press and we've quickly already moved from silk press to blab looking. So yeah, anyway, today I wanted to do a blab beat, and this is nothing like serious. There's nothing that prompted, well, there's some things that prompted this, but it's not like a serious topic or whatever. I just felt like talking about something in particular, so here we are. So today I wanted to talk about my hair and hair typing and the natural hair community and all of that jazz. So basically, if you didn't know, if you're new to my channel, I have 4C hair. I have like some sprinkling of like 4B in like weird patches, but I don't talk about that because it's honestly insignificant. There'd be no point in labeling my hair 4B, 4C videos because there's such a little amount of 4B and it doesn't really affect my hair. But I have 4C hair, and if you have 4C hair as well, you know that that's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. It's a lot harder, and there's the whole natural hair community. It's just a lot, right? And I feel like I myself have talked about how, you know, being part of the 4C, having 4C hair, the natural hair community was initially, you know, it began for us because realistically, our hair type and 4B, 4A is kind of on the loose side to me, but I really looped them in with the 3s. But our hair type is the one that wasn't really accepted, so the natural hair community was kind of started for us, and we've been not kicked out of it, but like pushed to the back. Like the forefront of the natural hair community at this point is always people who have super loose curls, you know, and all the products are catered to them, and anytime you see something about natural hair, it's somebody with a loose curl type. I almost said a light bright, but those dark skinned people can have loose hair types too. But like, we got pushed to the back of the natural community, and it kind of just feels like it's not very well accepted. And even like, for instance, anytime you see like, let's say a natural hair thread, or like everybody posts their natural hair, let's do a natural hair thread on Twitter or some bullshit or whatever, it's always a bunch of people with looser hair types. You see ads for natural hair products, it's people with looser hair types. I mean, even Shea Moisture, which was a lot of people's kind of favorite products, rebranded, and all of their stuff like is mostly for people with like 3C and lower. Okay, like they included white people who have like wavy hair or whatever, and it's just like that, we were just pushed out. And then when you do see 4 hair celebrated, it's kind of like they have ass down to their hair or whatever. So it's really become this thing that my hair is kind of only pretty or accepted or whatever if it's long. And that's a mentality that I definitely got trapped in for the longest. Like, I feel like I stopped caring as much about my curl pattern. Like, I feel like I kind of got to a point where I just accepted it as it was and was just like, you know, there's nothing I can do to change it, and I can try and break my back twisting it up every day so that it's quote unquote pretty or whatever. But I know as well as anyone else that, what is that? That 2 hours after I take this twist out down, it's gonna fluff up, and that's just what it is. That's just what it is. But anyway, so the point of all that being is that we're all very aware that natural hair really isn't accepted in the natural community unless it's long. So there's that or whatever. my point being is that we're all very well aware that natural hair isn't as well accepted in the community. And I myself have made videos talking about that, talking about how we're not accepted. I've also talked about how we have a bunch of people who prey on the fact that they know that we are insecure about our hair, and then they have 4A hair, 3C hair, and they title their video, you know, 4C hair. And then we think, we have watched all those videos for years thinking that if we do this and this and this, and if we do this and we use these products, then our hair will look like theirs because they have the same hair type as ours. So all we have to do is, you know, we have to, you know, do all of this or whatever. And I've talked about that. I also think people who label their hair 4 type are right on that borderline of scheming. Just because 4A hair is very different from 4B and 4C hair. Like I said earlier, I tend to group 4A in with the 3s because it's closer to them than it is to us, honestly. So when people label their videos 4 type hair, I'm like, I'm not watching your video. That's way too general. That tells me nothing, and I'm not falling for none of y'all's tricks no more. So I've talked about that, and I honestly think that I've reached a point where I feel like we don't need to talk about that anymore. Like, I feel like every time I get on Twitter, because I do follow a lot of natural hair people, because obviously, like, that's something that's important to me and that's something that I care about. I just feel like maybe it's time for us to move on from that. And not to say, like, it's not important or it's not something that's still happening, because like I said, there are people out there titling their videos 4 type hair when they have 4A. And there are 4C people thinking, oh, well, let me try this because we have the same hair type. And we all know, goddamn well, 4A is very different. But I just think that maybe it's time to move on from that and to realize that we don't have to constantly talk about how we're pushed out of the community. Because truth is, we're probably never gonna get acceptance from the community. Really, like, it's just not gonna happen. It might happen. Let me say it's not gonna happen. It might happen, but for me personally, I've given up on the idea that I will see people with my hair type whose hair is as long as mine or not as thick, you know, because my hair is on the thinner side too. And people whose hair looks like mine and is not down to their ass, or is it here and like out to here and whatever. Like, I've kind of given up on the idea of seeing those people celebrated and, you know, famous on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, I also think that maybe we need to let go of hair typing, to be real, because what matters a little bit more than hair typing is your hair porosity, because that really affects your hair. I was following a lot of 4C people for the longest time and doing everything that they did, and my hair was always coming out trash, and that's because my porosity was different than theirs. I'm slathering my hair in products every week and wondering why my hair is so fucking limp. Like, my hair was low porosity. It's just kind of how I feel about it. I feel like I'm a little tired of constantly logging on and seeing people argue about how we were pushed out of the natural hair community. It's like known at this point. We don't have to talk about it anymore. I've started to really believe in, not manifestation, so to speak, because I don't know too much about that, but I do believe that what we say affects how we feel about ourselves. Like, I talked about this in my 2019 reflection video about how I talked to myself about how I looked, and I feel like that helped me gain self-confidence. And like, by saying, like, by walking past mirrors and always telling myself I'm beautiful and I'm pretty and I'm the best, instead of always immediately picking out my flaws, I feel like that really helped me gain some self-confidence. So I'm trying to apply that in other areas of my life, because I do think that what we say has an effect on our feelings and how we act. And I feel like if we put all of our energy into talking about how 4C hair is not accepted, we're not really putting any of the work into accepting our own 4C hair. Because at the end of the day, like for example, your own personal image, there are people out there who are gonna think that you look bad, who think you look ugly. There are people out there who think that I look ugly. I'm sure there are, like, you know, beauty is subjective or whatever. So, but that doesn't change how I feel about myself. I still feel like I'm a pretty ass bitch, you know? So we should feel the same way about our hair. Like, it would be nice to be accepted into the natural hair community and not only be cared about when our hair is down to our asses, but at the end of the day, that's not going to change how we feel about ourselves, truly. Because, like, for instance, Lupita has a beautiful, gorgeous 4C hair. That does not make me feel better about my hair at all. That means nothing to me, essentially. But yeah, like I was saying, Lupita is a beautiful, beautiful woman, okay? And she's highly regarded as beautiful by the media, but that did not make me feel better about my 4C hair at any point. I was like, she's beautiful and she has beautiful hair, but that didn't affect me. So I feel like while acceptance is nice and whatnot, if that's what you're waiting for to make you feel better about yourself, is to see 4C in the public eye, it'll be nice, but realistically, it probably won't change anything if you really hate your hair or whatever. I think that something that really helps me, if any of you care, something that really helped me in my hair journey and just kind of accepting my hair was, one, I experimented a lot. Not with products, but with hairstyles, because like 2 years ago, if I'm wearing my natural hair out, I was definitely wearing it in a puff, and that kind of fucked up my edges. So that's something I had to move past quickly because the puffs were fucking up my edges, like, and then I couldn't get the puffs right. Anyway, the puffs always look fucking stupid. They never look like anybody else's puff. But that's besides the point. I experimented with a lot of hairstyles and just kind of figured out what I liked on myself and what I didn't like. And like, I would challenge myself in the sense that, like, if you guys remember, I did that video a week in my 4C hair or whatever. That was a challenge because I don't like keeping my hair up for that long, okay? So I essentially just told myself, like, you're gonna wear your natural hair out all week and we're gonna try a new hairstyle every day. We're gonna try and do something new every day. Because I feel like I was getting stuck in a rut of twist out. I didn't like how, I also had to force myself to get used to, like, just having a twist out and having it out and, like, in a little fro kind of thing, because I did not like that on myself because it never looked like anyone else. So I kind of had to force myself to stop comparing my hairstyles to everyone else's, because realistically, everybody's hair is different. Like, so I did that. I stopped comparing myself to other people's, how other people's hair looked, and just accepted my hair. And then I tried a bunch of different hairstyles. I also worked on accepting shrinkage. Like, I found that after a while of doing that, like, I kind of reached a treaty and I reached some peace with my hair, to where, like, I'll wear my twist styles day 1, day 2, and then maybe I'll pull it back in a certain way on Wednesday, maybe I'll pull it back on another way on Thursday, and by Friday we've reached a puff. And that's kind of how I cycle through my twist outs and my braid outs and stuff. And once I started doing that more often, I was like, oh, okay, look at this. Oh, look at this. This is pretty. Right now, what I'm trying to work on is, like, taking pictures of my natural hair, because my natural hair don't photograph as well as I look in the mirror, baby. And I'm tired of that. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that as a collective, we should try and move past talking about the negative aspects of the natural hair movement and just work on kind of carving out our own space and focusing on the positives and focusing on loving your own hair, because truly acceptance from others is not going to make you feel any better about your hair. You just will at some point when you learn to love it yourself. So that's kind of all I wanted to say. This was all over the place. This is literally just like a chat. Like, I just had some things to say. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Come chat with me down in the comments. If there's anything that you think would make an interesting blab and beat topic, then leave that below in the comments as well. Until next time, spread love, be kind. Bye, guys.